I am Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. He is the CEO and founder of Avenue 9, no other than Mr. Mike Montague.
Hey, so great to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Welcome, Mr. Mike. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Sure. I have a little bit of a crazy background. We don't have time to get into all of it. I started in radio and advertising, got into public speaking and sales training, and I've been doing internet marketing and podcasting for a long time. And then AI changed the game for me. So I decided to start my company, Avenue 9, where we do human first AI marketing, which means we're not trying to build like Terminator robots and AI agents that'll replace humans and take over the world. We're trying to create like the Iron Man version of AI, which is, we wrap humans in technology. We give them cool AI analysts and information and helpers to make the humans the superhero and not replace them with robots. How's that sound?
Sounds great, Mr. Mike. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world.
I like the round of applause.
And hoping for more and more empowering business like this to come. Human first AI marketing. Tell us about this.
So I created that term and trademarked it because I wanted to stand for putting the humans involved in this, and not just like our employees, but our customers and ourselves first in what we're doing with our marketing, especially. I think as AI takes over, you can create just an insane amount of marketing spam compared to what you could do 2 years ago. So I could create thousands of blogs a day. I could send millions of emails. I can be scraping, everybody's personal information off the internet, and I can set up robo dialers to call everybody in the United States and read them an automated message, or even have an AI conversation with them. And I could be sending direct message spam to everybody on social media and literally just annoy the hell out of all the customers and non-customers, because nobody would actually buy from you if you did it that way. So instead, I like to think about, how do I use AI in a way that empowers humans? It empowers more human-to-human conversations. It tells a story and keeps my unique voice rather than automating it and sounding like a robot in all of this marketing. And my first book I wrote was called LinkedIn the Sandler Way. And I wrote this book about how to use LinkedIn in a way that is non-spammy and non-pushy for salespeople. And I kind of think that I'm taking a similar approach here with marketing, that if I can teach people and spread the good word about, creating a story using AI to either reverse engineer that story or to expand on the story, we can build information databases that give us better marketing decision making. And then we use AI to reach more people, maybe, but not any people, specific people that like maybe they speak a different language. AI could translate our story into another language, or maybe I use LinkedIn, but maybe other people use a different platform and they're on TikTok. So I could take my LinkedIn post and turn it into a TikTok video and reach people over there. And I think it's a really cool way to expand our reach and our story and our small businesses without feeling like we're going to blow out our budget, burn bridges with our audience, or just freak ourselves out by trying to do too much.
Interesting indeed, Mr. Mike. And the term human first AI marketing seems like a conscious pushback against something. What is the dominant or non-human first approach to AI in marketing that you're arguing against?
So I think it's that Terminator approach of automation. I think too many people are using AI to replace humans or do the hard work for them. So I see three mistakes that non-human first AI marketing makes. The first one is they use AI to come up with their voice, their story, their brand proposition, or they just try to use one prompt and a business owner might go in and say, "Hey, write an email for me trying to sell my product." But AI doesn't understand your world. It can tell a great story about a product, but it doesn't know your story, your product, who you serve, what the changes you're trying to make in the market. And you really have to give it that context in order to tell your story. So I think AI, by what it does, is it picks the average, the middle, right? It looks at all of the world's information, all the publicly available information on the internet, and it will write the most predictable story possible for your business. But that's really bad marketing. Marketing that is the same as everybody else is not marketing. It's just adding to the pile. The second thing I think people get wrong is their audience. They don't know who they're selling to. And if you make the mistake of thinking that everybody can buy from you, again, nobody is going to buy from you. So you have to really do the hard work of thinking about who my product or service is for, who it's not for. How do I tone these marketing messages down, find a niche, find something that people actually want, and use AI to help you define those markets and find people that fit your specific situation, and not using AI to find everybody's information that can scrape and like go as wide as possible. I think you need to use AI to help you sort your target audience, not to select it or not to like stretch that target audience too big. And then the third one I think is just the roles. Everybody's talking about it. I think, you know, the cheesy standard line is AI won't replace people, but people who use AI will replace people that don't. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there are a lot of people working to replace jobs and roles and human workers with AI. I think we just have to question what is a human job and what is an AI job. So for me, this third part of this is understanding that humans are really great at emotion, at connecting with other people, at building trust. AI is a power tool. It's fast. It's like a chainsaw. And so if we use it in the wrong way, it can be really dangerous. It can hurt people. It can hurt our business and not do the job appropriately. So I really love doing the deep thinking and discussions and arguing with people and debates about what should be an AI job and what should be a human job. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, Mr. Mike. Makes sense indeed. And AI is often associated, as you said, automation and scale, which can feel impersonal. How do you reconcile the desire for most or for the mass efficiency with the need of a genuine human connection?
Great. So now we can get into it. We can really figure out how we can use AI in a way that is human first. We got to start with your what I call scalable story, like your authentic voice. Daniel, you've done a ton of podcasts, so we can take all the transcripts from those and take your opinions and thoughts from all these other conversations, and we can compile them into this, like, I call it concentrated orange juice, like a really powerful story that then when we water it down with AI, it actually turns into good marketing that is, it tastes good to everybody and it still works. But if we start with a watered down story or we're not really sure what we're trying to say, when we water it down, it just becomes bland. It doesn't work. It doesn't taste good. Nobody resonates with it or wants more of that. So a great way to do this is sort of to flip traditional AI upside down. So we call AI that are these LLMs and stuff that writes things generative AI, which is you give it a sentence, you say, hey, I want you to write an email about whatever XYZ product. And it takes that one sentence and generates an entire email that's maybe, 15 sentences. Well, that again is stretching and watering it out. What I like to do is the opposite. I call it degenerative AI, which means we're going to take this massive amount of information you have. You're already having conversations in your sales meetings with your clients and quarterly business reviews. You have marketing materials that exist. And we're going to have AI analyze everything that there is to know about your business, and then create that concentrated orange juice, whittle it down to those 15 sentences we need for the email. And when we do that, it becomes a really cool tool, and it does a really good job at creating great marketing. So I always tell people what you want to do is think about context engineering and how do we build this like information around who we are, what we do, how we're trying to do it, what our tone of voice is, what we stand for, what we don't stand for. And then once we have all that figured out, we can amplify it with AI.
Very well said, and a great analogy, Mr. Mike. Truly, truly a sweet orange juice. In an era of deep fakes and AI generated spam, how can adopting a human first approach actually become a competitive advantage and trust builder with the customers?
I think this is huge because we're going to see this. We're already seeing it now start to pop up in certain places. But I think as more and more AI slop or AI generated content and artificial avatars become more popular in our culture, and we see more and more of it, the real human stuff is going to become rare. So my analogy or story for this one is like Walmart or fast food. Fast food exists. It will feed people. It doesn't necessarily taste bad. It's not necessarily healthy for you or anything, but it does the job of feeding a human for a cheap cost. And it's fast and it's easy and cheap, which is one way to go. But restaurants that are, good and have great chefs still exist. And even higher, we have personal chefs that would cook exactly what you want, and they make the most amount of money. So if you're deciding to go into business, do you want to own a vending machine, a fast food restaurant, a sit down restaurant, or do you want to be a personal chef? There are ways to make all of those things work, but for me and my business, I want to be the personal chef of what I do. I want to have this human connection that really like digs in. People know me, they seek it out, they're excited about having a personal chef show up rather than just like, yeah, sure, I'll take whatever bag of chips comes out of the vending machine. And in the marketing world, I'm seeing a lot of vending machine content. People are just cranking out. They're pushing the button and they're cranking out another AI video, another avatar, another blog post or clip or social media post, and it's just going to get old. I think all of us will have a hunger for something that's more authentic than that.
Authenticity indeed. And Mr. Mike, what does a marketing strategy document look like when it's built on a human first AI foundation? How does it differ from a traditional digital marketing plan?
I don't think it's a whole lot different in practice. I kind of think about this in three different layers. So the strategy is different. We're not just trying to go as wide as possible. The strategy is very traditional, good marketing. Targets an audience, reaches them with a message that they want to hear, creates some sort of change or action in people. So in that way, I don't think the psychology of marketing or how buyers move throughout a sales process has changed. I think the day-to-day behaviors or the action items, the tactics aren't necessarily different either. I could use the same tactic like social media in a way that's human first and build real connections, connect with only humans that I actually know, talk to everybody, send DMs, have great activity and engagement in the comments. Or I could do it in a non-human first way and just add everybody, add 50 groups, try and get 1 million followers, publish 50 social media posts a day, none of them get any likes or comments, and feel like I have a bunch of vanity metrics but not have any real human relationships, right?
Yes.
So then we got to get down to the individual kind of tactical level, which I think is where it really separates itself. So the strategy is different. The behaviors might be the same, but how you do it, the techniques and the individual tactics of execution it sounds different. It looks different because I'm trying to be generous. I'm trying to be authentic. I'm trying to be credible. I'm trying to be reliable, show up day in and day out. And I think the authenticity that shows up in good marketing is generous in a way that builds trust. And trust is a slow process. And so it takes time and long-term vision. And AI is fast and it's inauthentic. It's artificial. So we need to be really careful about how we separate the two in practice.
Very well said, Mr. Mike. Truly, truly empowering. Everyone's wants personalization, but it often feels creepy. How does human first AI achieve true relevance without crossing the line into invasion of privacy?
Yeah, this is a tough one here. And I think, again, it's one of those nuanced thinking things. And I love that that's what you do here on this podcast, because it's not so simple. The same tactic used two different ways. One could be generous and the other one could be manipulative, right? So I think our privacy in general is shrinking away anyway, right?
Yes.
So there are going to be bad actors in this space. There are going to be people that throw our name on stuff or learn something about us and then use that to sell a product. I also think there are good ways to do this in a human first way that you would do for a friend or a neighbor or a family member. If you know it's their birthday, you want to reach out and say happy birthday because it's a kind thing to do and celebrate them or get them a good gift. And if you're going to give somebody a gift, you want to send them a gift that they like, that they enjoy. You don't want to get them, if they're allergic to peanuts, you don't want to get them peanuts as the gift. You want to give them something that they like and enjoy. So I think using information and everything we know about the person in a way that serves them and creates trust and builds the relationship is really cool. Using information and trying to hide it or to fake something about it or pretend like we actually know about them when we don't doesn't really help us. So when I see bad marketing here, I see people that like scrape something off the website or my LinkedIn profile and they say something like, "Hey, Daniel, I heard your recent podcast with Mike and it was really outstanding. I love the part where you said insert, line that they stole from the script." And then they try to create this inauthentic connection that they don't even know. I know that the person, if there even is a person on the other end of that email, that person didn't listen to the podcast, right? Somebody that does listen to the show and knows that we did one together and actually found something helpful out of this discussion, they could use that same information to create a connection with us. And they would say something different that would get our attention and go, "Oh, you know what? I love that somebody actually listened to the show." And I don't know about you. I'm sure you get a whole bunch of these, but I can always tell who actually listens and is a fan. And somebody who's just saying, "Mike has a podcast. I know he's going to like it if I I say, oh, it's so, it's so successful and insightful.
Definitely. And Mr. Mike, as founder and CEO of Avenue 9, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Well, I've accomplished a lot of the short-term goals. I'm coming up on a year here in business since I went out on my own and left the corporate world, and I still have all the clients that I started with and a few more on top of that. So I am doing the work that my customers are enjoying. I'm growing the business. I hired my first marketing assistant this year, and I'm writing a book on uh, human first AI marketing now too, because I've interviewed over 50 AI and marketing experts on my podcast. So the long-term goals are building the reputation and the credibility. I'd love to do more public speaking. I'd love to get this message out to wider audiences, which is why I'm showing up as a guest on other people's podcasts now, because I'm afraid that every time there's this innovation in our society or change, it gets used for evil first. And I would love this time with AI to just have a lot of people skip that step. So if you think about, like, when direct mail was a thing, people sent a bunch of spams and catalogs and postcards and advertisements. And then email came out and we got spam. And when the phone came out, we got telemarketers. And it just seems like every time people try to take the shortcut. And this time I would love to get the word out that we can use these AI tools in a way that benefits humanity. Even if you think about social media algorithms, companies like Facebook decided to make that algorithm show you something that gets you addicted and makes you more unhappy, and it makes them more money. But you could use that same tool. You could create an algorithm that showed people content that made them happier, healthier, that connected them with their actual friends and family, and that maybe didn't maximize their time spent on the platform, but maximize their happiness and their results. And it wasn't advertiser based. And I think that kind of world would be so much cooler. That's really the long-term mission that I'm on.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. Mike, and looking forward for more success. And what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Well, get into it. I think number one is know that it's possible. Number two is start taking action. Don't do the shortcuts, do the hard work. If you put in a little bit of effort up front with your AI to build that context layer, you'll get greater output for the whole rest of the time. So this is an upfront investment to get better outcomes and to stay where we're at. And then I think the third thing is don't stop learning. A lot of people are still scared of AI. They haven't used it yet. They feel like they're not techie people, or they just haven't argued back and forth with the AI enough to figure out how to get good human first output out of it. So it's a little bit of a learning curve, but everybody can do it. These are easy tools. You don't need programming expertise. A lot of them are like $20 a month, so you don't even need a whole lot of money. It's the equivalent of one fast food meal out these days. So I would rather invest in myself and my business and my message than the fast food meal out, for sure. So certainly I'm willing to help. You can go to avenue9.com. You can listen to the Human First AI Marketing Podcast, or reach out to me on LinkedIn. And if you need help and you want to do it the right way, join, the group of us that are going in the right direction and trying to build things that build trust.
Build trust. Thus, I want to, empower to our fellow podcaster. And Mr. Mike, thank you for that advice. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Ooh, I would say anything by Seth Godin, I would recommend. The one that I think changed the course of my career is called, oh man, what is it? It is, This Changes Everything. I think it was
Mhm.
the title of the book. And he's got a bunch of them out there, and it's just really great, great stuff. But it's What to Do When It's Your Turn is the name of the book by Seth Godin. Amazing perspective on taking responsibility for your life, your career, and doing things in a way that is best for you and others. So definitely recommend that.
Thank you for that recommended book, Mr. Mike. And was there a specific moment or campaign that convinced you that AI had to be guided by human first philosophy to be effective long term?
I think this has been a theme in my career. I don't know that there was a specific moment as much as a culmination of a whole bunch of other moments. So when I was in my 30s and I was working as a sales trainer, I kept seeing this separation between good salespeople and bad salespeople, and good marketing and bad marketing. And it was when LinkedIn and social media and everything was taking off. And I was trying to read these books and learn about how do I use LinkedIn to grow my business. And I ran into just a bunch of really bad advice, like join 50 groups, post 5 to 7 times a day, and like add everybody in your connections list, and hope that someday somebody buys from you. And the last chapter of all of these books were something like, and now you engage the audience. And I thought, well, that's what I want to learn. I want to learn how to actually have conversations, build a community, and engage with other human beings, not just feed this algorithm, get more people to spend online, and hope that if I get enough followers, someday one of them buys from me. That didn't seem like a good enough investment in my time and energy. So I think the big moment for me was realizing that there is a better way here, and it's about restraint and trust and authenticity in a way to connect with cool people in a cool way.
Well, Mr. Mike, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in 5th season, abstract poetry in 2nd season, and my book 101 review in 5th season too, comedy 101 in 2nd season, and my food 101 in 5th season as well. Geography 101 in 3rd season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101 Love Letters in 3rd season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in 4th season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its 1st season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Mike, if what would be your advice for those people out there want to try AI marketing?
I think start with ChatGPT, get the pro version for $20 a month, and build your profile out with custom instructions and more additional context, like documents about you. One of the coolest things that I have done with AI so far is I uploaded all of my personality profiles that I've taken. I worked in professional development for 15 years. So I had a DISC profile, a Myers-Briggs, a Strengths Finder assessment. I had my Enneagram type, and all of these different profiles and tests that I had done about me and my personality. And I added those to my ChatGPT AI account. And now it can think like me. It can write like me. It knows my strengths and weaknesses. It will know my sense of humor. I've uploaded my books and podcast transcripts, and now it has the information to really help me. And so I think that's a really easy and cheap way to get started. And once you do that, you're going to get a lot better marketing out of it.
Mr. Mike Montague, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, so can you please invite our listeners to support your business itself?
That's right. I'm an internet marketer, so I'm not very hard to find. If you type Mike Montague or Avenue 9 or Human First AI Marketing, into whatever podcast app, search engine, AI engine you like. You will find me, but it's avenue9.com and the Human First AI Marketing Podcast.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Mike Montague, because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering episodes of the podcast itself, more and more empowering AI marketing to come. So, Mr. Mike, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks again.
More to come, people. See you soon.